Wow. You know, I've taught you a little bit about identifying trees in the winter. And I think identifying things is important. I think it helps you appreciate being in nature more. Because, on one hand, you learn just how many uses there are for things. Just how many plants are edible and medicinal. And it really makes you appreciate the whole ecosystem. And also, when you walk through a forest like this, the untrained eye can't tell any of these trees apart. All it sees is a forest. But when you learn how to identify these trees, you start to understand just how much biodiversity there is. You can differentiate maples and hickories and beeches and oaks. And you realize that there's a lot more life in this forest than you might have thought before. On the other hand, I don't think you need to know how to identify stuff to appreciate nature. Not at all. I loved nature on a deep level long before I understood how to identify trees or before I knew some of these edible plants. And of course, I've got a lot to learn. So if you're walking in the forest, I don't want you to feel frustrated that you can't tell what tree is what or what plant does what. Instead, keep an eye out for all the beautiful things. Look at the birds flying around, the ducks and the geese migrating, and this beautiful frozen stream with its contours and curves. It's breathtaking. That's not to say you should go to national parks and stop your car at an overlook and enjoy the scenery and then be done. I mean, that's great, but I think truly appreciating nature means going deep into it, noticing all the small things there are, all the little weeds and herbs that grow here and there that most people don't notice. The bits of moss, the rocks and the stones, the animals, the critters, even the dirt with the sunlight casting onto it. It's such a beautiful thing. And so often we get images of nature that are just big sweeping vistas with mountains and streams and forests. And that's fantastic, but if we only appreciate these idolized pictures of nature, then we lose an appreciation of raw, simple, actual nature. And we start to come up with excuses for destroying nature. You know, if places don't look beautiful enough, then maybe we're okay with it being mined or drilled or developed. But the truth is that every patch of woodland and every wild field is precious. Absolutely precious. So learn to identify things. But if all you do is identify them, then all you see in nature are resources, things to be used, to be exploited. But when you learn to look at the little bits of beauty, that's truly enjoying nature.